when Susan told me, it's 5 years Shambhala House, I said, this can't be. It's just like a couple of years ago, the most. It showed how fast time goes, and particularly when we are busy with the right kind of work that moves us on the course of evolution. It's really the purpose of every life. Shambhala House has quite an interesting story how it came about, and it was a lot of courage that I needed to go into such a venture for several reasons. Of course, first of all, the whole legal things of acquiring a house, then the whole financial business about this, but also how will it work? How long will it last? Who will really look after it? Who's going to take care? And what if people get very tired of the commotion that creates always a situation with many people of different temperament, different character, different kind? So I was worried about that, and they're still here. So, but I didn't know that 5 years ago, you see. And people are enthusiastic often and say, oh yeah, I will do this, and then by the time I turn around, they've already forgotten that the original made it some sort of a commitment, and then really didn't stick to it. Little that people know when they don't do that, the repercussions that it has in their own lives. Because if you look around in your own life, where you had promises from people, and who kept the promises and who didn't in your life, then if you take the time to think back, have you kept all your promises? Have you kept all your commitments? Is it any surprise that somebody else doesn't keep yours? You see, karma is not necessarily that waits for another 3, 4, 5 lifetimes. It might. But it can also backfire very quickly right now in this life. So it goes without saying that I was just a little bit heart palpitation in the first year was, can they last another year? Well, after they lasted for 2 years, I relaxed and I said, I have enough evidence in the loyalty, in the sense of service, and the devotion and dedication to the work, and much of it even to myself, for which I was also very grateful. In my position, you meet lots of people, as I said before, who make all sorts of promises, never keep them. So I could relax, and that was fine. And now I take it for granted, you see, how fast it goes. Things work out, and you see, well, it couldn't be any different. We can never take anything for granted. What is given to us is really divine providence. And we must at all times be willing to give something back to life. You don't need to even be religious or believe in anything, but you have to give something back to life. You can't just take from life. And if you give back to life, then you'll be always on the receiving end. And when you watch this happen in your own life, you see how it works, and you say, yeah, I'll give something away here, and somebody gives me something else here. And I really have to give it away, because what would I do with everything? Now, 5 years of satsang here in Calgary, and 5 years of intense work, classes, building things up, collecting as many friends as these two have here. It's quite an undertaking. And then what you have done, and the success you have with it, shared with others. Always help somebody else too. Not from an ego point, not from a point of self-importance, but just saying, thank you, I know now what I can do here. Now she or he is in a similar spot. They may not necessarily have to do the same that I do, but I can perhaps stimulate by saying what I have done for myself. There are concentric circles. There are people who give all and everything for the work. They understand that the tumultuous times we live in have to be counteracted by another positive, the forces of light. And thank you for helping, and particularly you too.